Well, it's Friday, and you all know what that means. As you all know, in Japan, Sendai Girls just had their recent event in Shinjuku FACE. This one features members from H.A.T.E from Stardom, more specifically Ruka and Momo Watanabe. As you know, recently, not too long ago, Momo faced against one of her competitors in a tag match, Dash Shiozaki, in a hardcore match which she resulted to lose. However, will she get a little bit of a measure of payback? Well, we just have to wait and see because we know what H.A.T.E are capable of. And then, of course, we move on with AEW Rampage featuring various matches. We have, of course, Konosuke Takeshita taking on Angelico. And, of course, the main event features Willow Nightingale taking on Tail Valkyrie. And then we move on to see who levels up on the latest episode of NXT Level Up. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing SEAdLINNG's latest event. I think this one's called Kawasaki Pro Wrestling Matsuri. This one recently took place in the city of Kawasaki. Don't remember the name of the venue, but this happened on the 23rd of September. This one featured the main event, Suri defending the Beyond the Sea Championship against Unagi Sayaka. So that's going to be a very interesting match. And then we cap up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates what's been happening in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, including developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Jay right here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK. Anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If things were if information was unable to be on this episode, we can either put it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-timing news updates to give you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling and it needs to address ASAP. We also, of course, got the Unagi Sayaka watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us or click on that subscribe button. You'll be getting a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, all introductions set aside, and I give it all she's got, Captain. So let's begin with our first review, and this is from the Yoshi promotion, SEAdLINNG. SEAdLINNG, Kawasaki Pro Wrestling Matsuri. This took place recently on the 23rd of September. Now, I don't remember the name of the venue, just to be clear. But the main event features the Beyond the Sea Championship, which is the top title of the promotion. But we'll get to that. Now, our first match, we have tag team. We have Miku Kane, who is from T-Hearts, teaming up with Misa Kagura from GTO. They face against, of course, Mirai Koga and Saya. So basically, nothing too significant of this match. But however, it ended with, of course, what's her name, Kagura, with a big lariat onto, of course, Koga, and picking up the win for her team. But it was a pretty good match. I'm not gonna lie, but it was good. Now our next match, this is a 6-woman high-speed match. Now, if you guys aren't familiarized with SEAdLINNNG, they have a high-speed type of match. So basically, the count is more faster, like 1, 2, 3, just like that, instead of the 1, 2, 3, just like that. So the referee is of course a former Stardom wrestler. I forgot her name was. She holds the highest record in the high-speed title, in case anybody asks. So basically, it's her as a special guest referee. She always does this whenever high speed's involved. The competitors are, of course, Yu, Rina Yamashita, and Nagiza Nozaki. They face against Natsudira, Maya Yukihi, and Ram Kaicho. Now, of course, you're gonna notice some things about this one because Ram and Maya are in fact part of the Rebel X enemy. They're really close friends. However, it was a pretty good match. Of course, they try to do the whole high speed, basically that the whole thing, and of course the special guest referee gets involved in this match. Like I said, I forgot her name, but it didn't work well. But unfortunately, Rina Yamashita was able to pick up the win when she applied the splash mount to Natsurita, and just like that, it was over. Our next match, we have a bit of a, we have Hiroyo Matsumoto teaming up with Sugi. They face against Takuya Sugawara, and Masato Tanaka. So basically, you have like 3 guys and 1 girl in the same match. But I thought the match was pretty well received. But in the end, it was Masato Tanaka with the sliding lariat onto Sugi to pick up the win. Now, our next match, we had a very interesting 3-way tag team match. Team number 1, we have Kakedira and La Pedida versus La Fresa de Ogioista, consisting of Veni and Makoto, versus the current Beyond the Sea tag team champions, Izuki Aoki and Ayame Sazamura. Now, this was a pretty good match. Now, however, as you all know, this is a non-title match because, of course, Sazamura and Aoki are the current tag champions. So, if by somehow Veni, Makoto, or Kakegira and La Perida were in fact able to pick up the win, they get a chance of the tag titles. I think that was the major goal. However, they were able, one particular team were able to do that, and that is, of course, when what's her name, La Pedida was able to apply the Kuma roll on Sazamura and to pick up the win. So that means literally they will probably be the next challengers. And of course, Ayame Sazamura was not happy how this thing ends, but this will be their first title defense. Those who remember, I recently reviewed where they won the tag belts. So now they will make their first defense. So we'll see where that goes. Now, our next match, this is Beyond the Sea Championship between Unagi Sayaka and Suri. Now, some of you may question, how did we got here with these two? Well, those who remember, last year, Suri teamed up with Unagi in a match against Kairi and, of course, Sayuri Ano in a women's tag match in All Japan Pro Wrestling. Now, Suri gave some harsh criticism towards Unagi about the way she behaved after the match they had last year at All Japan, and of course criticized her style of wrestling, that sort of thing. I mean, I know Suri has been very hypocritical when it comes to questioning people about how they wrestle and all that. She did that with the ladies from Mighty Gold when they first launched, and it was no secret that these two actually will bump in. I mean, but sooner or later they were gonna bump in with each other at some point. But I'm sure Unagi did try to, of course, throw in the biggest blows possible, but it was no luck. It was Suri with the Uranagi to pick up the win and allowing her to pick up the match. However, It didn't take long until after her post-match saying some words to Unagi. Well, Veni decided to make the appearance along with Makoto and Mayu Yukihi. Looks like that they're making up, no, with Nagisa Nozaki, my bad, where they in fact are now, Veni wants a shot of the Beyond the Sea title, so basically that'll be the next opponent. Now it's still unclear when, but I'm sure it's going to be happening real soon. So we'll keep up to that until it's official. So I think we're done with SEAdLINNG. Let's move on with Sendai Girls. Okay, Sendai Girls. This took place in Shinjuku FACE on recently today on September 27th. Our first match, we have Zones versus Yuna. Now, of course, you may know that these ladies do have a bit, almost a similarity in their experience. Yuna is still a young girl, Zone, who's been wrestling for almost a year and a half, or maybe so. Um, so that kind of sets it up clearly that they were perfect match. But however, we have seen Zones picked up some good, fantastic wins here and there, and it was not surprise for me in some capacity. But she was able to pick up a win against Yuna when she applied a lariat, and just like that, it was over. Now our next match, we have tag team action. We have Yuta Suzuki and Miyuki Takase versus Manami and Ryo Mizunami. Now, nothing too significant on this particular match, but this, I would say, this will be a momentum for Miyuki Takase. As you know, she is the next challenger for the Sendai Girls World Title against her. I don't know if they're still tag partners or friends or whatever with Mika Iwata. So we'll see what that. And I'm sure this also is a momentum for both Manami and Ryo Mizunami in hopes they could try to get back into the tag team title contingency picture. But unfortunately, that did not go well for them at all because it was Miyuki Takase that did that suplex, like a twisted type maneuver onto Manami and just picked up the win. So this built up momentum for her upcoming title match. Now our next match, this one's a very interesting one. Chi-Chi versus Mika Awada. Now, many of you know who Chi-Chi is. She is from the promotion Evolutions. A lot of people have given her a lot of prospect because she is a rising star, learned under both Suwama and Shuji Chikawa. So basically, she was very impressive against someone like Mika Awada, who has a lot of experience and she's the current champion. But she did some amazing kicks, but unfortunately, Mika Wada's kicks are more precise than hers. She applied the buzzsaw kick, and just like that, she picked up the win. However, she had a promo to put out. I don't know what she said to Chi-Chi, but however, she did had an unexpected visitor, her challenger for the world title, Miyuki Takase. I don't know what they said to each other, but I'm sure this is going to be very interesting to see. Now, our next match, we have tag team match, and coming all the way from Stardom, we have Ruaka and Momo Watanabe from H.A.T.E. They take on Hiroyo Matsumoto and Dash Shizako. Now, don't forget, a few months ago, during a Sendai Girls event, I think it was in July, I believe, um, Momo Watanabe and Dash Shizako was in fact in a hardcore match. Now, if you guys remember that particular match, Momo thought in her mind that she has the experience as a hardcore. No, you use weapons as a way. Dash Shizako sacrifices her body. That's the difference, and I think that's what Momo misinterprets about what hardcore wrestling is all about. But however, you could ask yourself, can lightning strike in the same time again? Well, you would think so, but of course, since H.A.T.E. were there, none other than the leader of H.A.T.E., Natsuko Tora, was there as well. And of course, she was going to run interference to ensure that this match goes to H.A.T.E., and that's exactly what happened. And of course, it was Momo Watanabe with the Peach Sunrise on Dash, to pick up the win. And of course, she had the gloat say, I can see you're good at hardcore matches, but you're not that good in regular matches. So she gloats at her, thinking, I got the best of you. But don't underestimate Dash, in my opinion. But Momo can smile all she wants, but in the end, she still will never be at the top in some capacity. But we'll see where that goes from there. Now, our main event is the tag team titles. 200 kilogram, Yu and Big Hash, Shihiro Hashimoto versus Yurika Oka and Miyu Momono. Now, this was a challenge for Miyu Momono and Oka because Yu and Big Hash, they're not an easy team to beat. I mean, Miyu Momono had to witness her own friends, Magenta, lose the tag titles to them. And now they're collecting tag team belts wherever they go. And I think that's kind of crazy. But, however, you would think that somehow they were able to overcome this one. But unfortunately, it didn't do any well for them because it was Big Hash that applied a power bomb onto Oka. And just like that, they are our new tag team champions. However, you ask yourselves, okay, who's going to be the next challengers? Well, unsuspectedly, I did not see it coming. I'm sure many of you did not expect this one, or those who don't know what really happened. Guess who are the new challengers? Well, Natsuko Tora showed up, declared herself and someone to be their next opponents. So basically, now they're trying to send their message across every promotion to show them that they mean business. So, looks like Sendai Girls are going to deal with hate one way or the other. So if I was them, protect their titles at all cost. So that's something we definitely will see. So I think that's pretty much it with Sendai Girls. Let's move on with AEW Rampage. Okay, AEW Rampage. Our first match, we have the House of Black, consisting of Buddy Matthews and Malachi Black, taking on Action Andretti and Lio Rush. Now, as you know, recently we did see Action Andretti frustrated at the fact that recently there was some recent loss within the group. You know, of course, Lio Rush lost to Jack Perry. Top Flight lost the opportunity to have a chance at the tag team titles. So Action Andretti feels like they needed to do something, and on his frustration, he threw a bottle right at the picture of Brody Lee. I don't know if that was smart of him. Now, you would say they could have, Action Andretti could have kept his composure, but he didn't. He completely lost it. He decided to try to take the glory, not for himself, but try to prove a point in some capacity. Lio Rush was a bit confused, but apparently that led to, of course, losing the match when he got pinned by Black, and just like this. It could have ended just Action Andretti just, of course, walking away, try to lick his wounds, but no. He decided to have his little big boy pants and decided to throw a bottle at Brody Lee, and you can say, you fucked up. So that's exactly what happened. So he messed up by doing that, and of course the House of Black were intending to break him, but luckily he was saved with Top Flight. But I don't know what Action Andretti is happening, because the last thing I'm sure Top Flight, Layla, and of course Lio Rush wants is to be haunted by the House of Black. So we'll see where that leads them. But I'm sure Brody Lee would love nothing more to break Action Andretti. Now, we did see a little interview with Lexi with Anna Jay, who just made her return recently from Japan and all that. So she's preparing to make a statement now. But, however, she has one thing in her mind, is of course her opponent, Robin Renegade. Now, the match went itself great. She learned a few more skills along the way. Not to mention, she applied the gory bomb onto her, and just like that, she picked up the win. Now, our next match, we have Konosuke Takeshita versus Angelico. Of course, the match was pretty good because, in fact, I like how, we know Angelico, he's a great technical wrestler. He knows exactly what he needs to do, bring in a bit of the submission aspects. But, however, you cannot deny the power of Takeshita, there are people who have high expectations towards him. He applied a blue thunder bomb and then, of course, raging fire, and just like that, He picked up the win. Now, our next match, we have the Acclaim versus Ryan Clancy and TJ Crawford. Now, of course, this match ended with, of course, the Acclaim winning when Bowens pinned Crawford. But, however, there's one thing on the Acclaim's mind, and that is, of course, MXM. So basically, as you know, MXM took Max Caster jacket, decided to do a little makeover. So they decided that they're going to invade the little fashion show at Collision Grand Slam. So basically, that's what's going to happen from there. But of course, MXM gave a little message to them that they're not going to be able to get it. All they need to do is just watch what's going to happen. But we'll see what the Acclaim, if knowing the Acclaim, they have something up their mind. Now, our main event, Willow Nightingale versus Taya Valkyrie. Now, as you know, Willow Nightingale is determined to bounce back after losing the, of course, two big matches in her life, which is, of course, the one with Chris Statlander, the other, the CML Women's World Title. Basically, Taya, along with her ally, Deonna Purrazzo, are telling them you don't need friends because they're a distraction, that sort of thing. So she decides to deal with Taya. Of course, Taya's a real tough wrestler. You all know what she's capable of. But however, it was Willow Nightingale's will and determination to prove wrong, was able to suffice when she applied the Dr. Bomb, and just like that, it was over. She picked up the win. So we'll see what happens with Willow Nightingale down in the future, because recently we did see her. She got into a bit of a face-to-face confrontational with Mariah May. But for now, we'll go from there. Let's end things here with AEW. Let's move on to NXT Level Up. Okay, NXT Level Up. So let's find out who levels up on this episode. We have tag team action, Tyson Dupont and Tyreek Igwe taking on Uriah Connors and Kale Dixon. Now, it's no secret that these two teams do have some good cohesion. But however, I feel like the most experienced wrestlers that have been most being involved was Dupont and Igwe. They were able to pick up a very fantastic win when they applied the Heart Stopper on Kale Dixon to pick up the win. However, Uriah Connors and Kale Dixon feel like enough is enough with these losses. They feel that they want to step up to the next level of their tag team. So we don't know what exactly that's going to be. I'm sure they're going to get payback for every last loss they had or whatever. But we'll see. Now, we did see Soruka talking to her best friend, Danny Palmer. If you guys remember, both of them were out of action recently from injuries. Soruka came back a few months ago. Now Danny Luna. So Mr. Stone and Stevie Turner had a little chat with them, so they ended up being the main event against each other. So we'll see where that goes. Now, our next match, we have Stax versus Jasper Troy. Now, this was something very interesting. Now, remember, Stax was unable to defeat Obafemi. So this is more like a different type of Obafemi, with Troy in order to do so. But it didn't. You could think that, okay, Troy could have picked up a win, but no, it was Stax with the cement shoe that allowed him to pick up the win, and just like that, it was done. Now, our main event, Soruka and Danny Palmer. Now, remember, these two girls are best friends. They know exactly what they think. They're both athletic. They do have a gymnastic style technique that will help. But the real question is how much ring rust Danny Palmer has. Remember, Danny Palmer has been out of action for months when she got injured. So Ruka was able to get herself back into fitting after returning with a vengeance. So that sets it up right there. But who was going to walk out with the victory? That was, of course, Ruka when she applied the Soul Snatcher. And just like that, she won the match. So that's pretty much it what happened on NXT Level Up. So let's move on with our last and final thing, news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. So let's begin with the upcoming events. Now, By the time this video is out, this event should be already out, and I'm just putting out there. If you guys remember, RevPro does have, of course, the British J Cup, which is, of course, for the Cruiserweight title. 8 competitors, 4 matches, and they'll shrink it up in one day. It's a one-day event, a one-day tournament, so basically that's set it up. So here are the matches that happen in case anybody wants to look into it. We have Dante Martin versus Robbie X, Kid Lycos versus Kid Lycos 2, Lio Rush versus Barbaro Cavernario, and then finally Cameron Kai versus Robbie Eagles. Now, West Coast Pros for their upcoming event on October 11th, That Thing That Should Not Be. We have Jaya Jewel versus Alec Price, and that's going to be a fun match. And I think this is Alex Price's debut match, but yes. Deadlock Pro Wrestling for the Super Battle. Kenta makes his debut. He faces against Kevin Blackwood. Maple Leaf Pro for their upcoming event, Forge in Excellence, on the 2-day event in Ontario from October 19th to the 20th. They brought in a talent all the way from Qatar, Qatar Pro Wrestling, which is in the Middle East, named the guy they brought in is Classy Ali. I wonder how classy he is. Anyway, as you know, GCW in November will be in Hawaii for Hawaii Mania. They already announced certain wrestlers that will participate. We have Mance Warner, Danhausen, Matt Cardona, Mike Bailey, Dark Sheik, Joey Janela, Violent J, and Effie. So there are the ones that are signed for this one. MLW for their upcoming Lucha Apocalypto on the 9th of November for Okumura will be there. So that's going to be interesting. And then finally, it was announced that for the upcoming event on July 5th for Wrestle.Dynasty, Kenny Omega will be making his appearance. Now, recently he has made his appearances in Japan, hanging out with his buddy Kota Ibushi, went to New Japan, that sort of thing. So there's a lot of things that are happening there. Now for some developments. By the time this video is out, her birthday should already be passed. So I want to give a happy birthday to Chi-Chi from Evolutions in Japan. Yeah, so it's her birthday. I don't know how old she is, but yes. So happy birthday, Chi-Chi. Now, for all you Toni Storm fans out there, Wrestling Observer reports that next month, Toni Storm will be making her debut in CMLL. Very interesting. So I'm kind of curious how this was going to go out. Now, many of you may have heard that Thunder Rosa was out of action due to an injury, and it was reported that said that she is medically cleared. However, like the old saying goes, the horse's mouth has spoken. Thunder Rosa was upset that somehow somebody's been giving false claims that she was medically cleared. Apparently, she's saying she's not. So, whoever it is, he's a lying scumbag. That's what she's saying. But I don't blame her for being mad, but I get it. Now, for some other things. Go Shiozaki, as you know, during the N1 victory, he was in fact out of action. This was reported recently, and he said that he had a back pain in June, and this worsened, and the investigation revealed a fracture in the spine and inflammation around it. His mobility was affected severely at first, but gradually gotten better with medication and rehabilitation. So that's good. I'm glad that he got the treatment. Swerve Strickland responds to the report that WWE believed AEW paid him above market value. Well, he kind of said this, and I think many of you may not like it, but this is what he said. They only complain when a black person gets paid. I say that. We shake the foundation of things like that. Oh snap, wait. That's not what we would pay. Then why are you calling me? Why you're asking me? If I'm not your concern, then don't worry about it. Don't worry about my pockets and our money. We're good. You have your talent. You made your decision with me 2 years ago. No hard feelings for me. I kept it moving. I'm going to figure my way out, and I'm going to build myself. And this was on the Breakfast Club. Now, yeah, if you guys remember, WWE think that what AEW did, giving Swerve more money, was bad for business. So Swerve is like saying, Why you guys are concerned over this? I'm not your concern. I'm here. You're over there. Worry about your talent. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. I have no hard feelings for you guys for letting me go 2 years ago. So I'm good. Don't worry. Don't worry about me. And I get it. And I think many WWE fans are probably feeling like it's too much. He made the decision to go to AEW. No one stopped him. But he just doesn't understand why are they concerned. Well, that's how it is. Now, a Mexican wrestler named Soberano Jr. from CMLL had something to say, but I don't know how you WWE fans would think about this. I'm sure some of you will be mad for what this guy had to say about WWE, and just warning you ahead of time about what he said recently. A lot of people might believe that being in the world of WWE is the pinnacle of world of pro wrestling. But not for me. There can be actors and a lot of things, but you can only find wrestlers here in CML. We only have wrestlers here. I have messed up a lot, but I am here. I can stay here. I'm 100% made in CML. I want to become the idol and star I've always wanted to be. So thank you, CML, for always allowing me to be Soberano Jr. I've always said the CML is like my dad, and the Arena Mexico is my mother. So I feel good at home. We kept going and expecting more with Soberano Jr. So he thinks WWE are not the pinnacle. And I can see why, He doesn't see like, oh, they're not what real wrestling is all about. And I see maybe that's what's going on. So that's why I'm saying to those who are WWE fans, if you don't like what he say, I get it. But don't try to trash the messenger. This is what he said. So he doesn't see WWE a thing. He just sees it like they're not the real thing. So, yeah. Now, moving on. CML, as you all know, MLW recently has posted out about, of course, canceling their shows in the area where Hurricane Helena is taking place. And this is what he said. They said, due to severe impact of Hurricane Helena in St. Petersburg, we have made a decision to cancel our upcoming show at the Coliseum. The safety of our staff, talent, crew, and fans in Tampa/St. Petersburg area is our top priority. We believe this is the most responsible course of action given the current conditions. We kept everyone updated further details, including rescheduling information if available. All ticket holders will receive refunds affected immediately. Please stay safe and take care. So yeah, I have to agree. If this hurricane taking place in that vicinity is worse and not a good thing, they have to do the right thing and cancel it. And of course, they are going to give more information about the rescheduling, giving refunds to fans. I have to say it was the right move. Tony Schiavone went out of his way on what happened when. Said that Jon Moxley is the closest thing in AEW as Stone Cold Steve Austin. Now, I don't know how you guys would feel about that, but this is what he said. I hate to make this comparison, but I'm going to. I even said when I started that Jon Moxley is probably the closest thing to Stone Cold Steve Austin that we have in AEW. Doesn't give a shit type of guy. And Darby is the same way. Darby is the type guy that in every match wrestles you think is the last because of the crazy shit he does. He's right about Darby about that. We always think that way about him, but I don't know if I do see him as Stone Cold. I mean, I feel like he's the kind of guy who's proving a point or something. I don't know, but we'll see about that. So I think right now we are done with all of our reviews and all of our updates here. So let's just call it a day. So I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Coming up, we have AEW Collision. So hopefully we get that. We'll do that. But however, as you know, as we speak, Sendai Girls and Stardom and of course Mighty Gold had the recent events. So I may do those as soon as possible. But however, as you know, for Mighty Gold is their finals of the Dreamstar Grand Prix. So we'll see how that rolls up. So I'm looking forward to that. But for now, we'll just leave it as it is and we'll go forward from here. So until then, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time, same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. Mwah. And have a nice day.